you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you?
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, welcome, folks. We are live here in the wonderful Purple Heart Home Studio with the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. I'm your host, Captain Matt. The sheriff was not able to make it today, and I got the toss, I got the throw, I got the ball. So I've got the ball today. I'm the quarterback, and I've got a receiver over here that's going to talk here shortly. But I want to welcome everyone. I want to tell you that we are live on Facebook. That I do have my Facebook app up so that I can see all the listeners. And thank you to those 4 of my friends or WSIC friends that are listening. You've got, are we calling in the studio down there, Joe? Just Facebook. All right, just questions on the Facebook. So I don't have to do that national toll-free number. But yeah, find us on X, on Twitter, on all the social media, WSIC app that they have as well. And wanted to say thank you to the fine folks at Harrison's, the fine supporter of WSIC and of our show. And it reads here, this is the first time I got to read this. So from the job site to the rodeo to the backyard hammock, Harrison's got you covered. They are the Southeast leader in Carhartt and Ariat workwear, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. They can get you ready to go boot scooting in the Western favorites like Cinch Rock and Roll Denim and Wrangler. Visit their Mooresville location or shop online at harrisonsusa.com. Harrison's, our home for work, Western, and wow. So, wow. That's pretty good.
Nicely done.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking for a career in radio. Maybe I can do that or ads. But yeah, Harrison's great. So been there twice in the last 2 days. I think I have a shopping problem if I've done that, right? Mm-hmm. And the website is great. Lots of information on the website. I had to find out. I didn't really realize they had that many locations, but I did find that the Mooresville location opened at 9 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to just. I was at work at 8, right? That's what time we come to work. Yeah, I was at work at 8.
Right, yes, sir.
But at 9 o'clock, I had to go pick up something.
Yes, sir.
And I live in Mooresville, so
Whatever
it worked
you
out
say.
for me.
Yep.
Exactly.
Whatever you say, Captain.
Whatever the captain says, that's good. So we thank Harrison's for that. I want to thank my guests for being here with me, Justin Parks, Detective Justin Parks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here. You're looking sharp today. You dressed for the occasion.
Thank you.
Sweater vest and the tie there. So again, appreciate you being here. I know you got lobbed the ball here a couple hours ago. You are one of our special victims unit detectives.
That's
and
correct.
We've had a few of you guys on here before. Had your Sergeant Patrick Dixon talk one time a little bit. We've had conversations. But Justin, this is our first time together with you, for me with you. And you are specifically economics crimes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's
okay.
correct.
All right. Tell us about yourself. Where'd you come from? What'd you do before now?
Okay. Well,
why do you want to be here?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. I grew up here in Statesville. I went off to Appalachian State University, got a degree in criminal justice, came back here and previously worked for Statesville PD, and then went over to Burlington PD for about 7 years. And then I came back here and enjoyed my time with the sheriff's office. Been back here for about 6 years now.
Mm-hmm. Now, you worked a little bit on patrol, right?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
All right. And is that what you did at your other agencies?
I worked patrol at the first one. When I went to Burlington, I worked patrol, and then I was in the Special Victims Unit there as well.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
About 4
So
years.
did you do any, patrol to, did you go to property crimes here or into Special Victims?
Yeah, I did some time here on patrol, and then I went to property crimes.
Okay.
And then over to the Economic Crimes Unit.
That's great. And you know, I know that unit has grown exponentially.
Yes, we've
and
doubled over the last couple of years. Actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
and your caseload has probably tripled or quadrupled.
That's about right.
Exactly, and because it's a numbers thing.
Yeah.
The sheriff's added on several extra detectives specifically, not only in that division to deal with domestic violence, with sex crimes, with missing persons. I know Project Lifesavers over there. I don't want to leave out anything, sex offenders, all that, but specifically the fraud. I get, how many calls do I send you guys a week? 2 or 3 a week, and the sheriff gets I get the phone calls. He gets the taps on the shoulder. Hey, can you have the guys come do a fraud talk? And there's so much that changes, and I mean, there's still the old timey stuff.
Oh yeah,
but there's so much that changes. So we're going to talk about some of that specifically after our next break. So folks, get your notepads, ask some questions, get a few folks out there that you need to get online or listen or record, however you want to do this. We want to have some good information for you on that. But why economic triumphs? Why did you end up there? Why not into another specialized facet?
Honestly, at that point, I had done a little bit of everything. I felt like a lot in my law enforcement career. It was something that I hadn't done. I really didn't have any knowledge of, and I wanted to learn more about. So I went and talked to the guys that work over there in the fraud unit, and I liked what they were doing, and I wanted to learn more about it. So, next time a spot opened up, I put in for it, and it's been good.
So on a personal level, so your sergeant talks about him getting scammed on a video game platform.
Yeah.
So have you been affected by any fraud crime? I mean, did you wish to disclose?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it was last Thursday. I got a call from my bank. Did you approve this transaction for Ticketmaster for $600? Like,
oh, wow.
No, boss, that wasn't me.
Right.
So,
wait a minute, what's
absolutely.
the tickets? Where's it at?
Yeah, exactly. I hope they got good tickets out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really gets everybody, and everybody is getting these scam calls all the time now. I know, especially with older folks, they get them. My grandma has me come over, and she's got 16 voicemails every day from scammers, and it's just nonstop.
Right. And specifically speaking, we've got one going on yesterday and the day before. Sergeant Brock Henderson in our civil division is being called out as, hey, this is Sergeant Brock Henderson, Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Give me a call back. And they give a different number, but then the number that it shows on the phone it's coming from is being spoofed to the Sheriff's Office number.
Exactly.
So when those people think smart enough to call the what number Google gives them, or what number they should have in their phone, or look on their app and find the phone number, then they can ask to speak with Sergeant Henderson and know he wasn't calling them.
Exactly.
But whenever they look at that caller ID, just because the name's there and they call that number back does not mean you're getting those folks.
Absolutely. And I'd love to talk about it some more, but a lot of with the law enforcement scams is I don't care who they claim to be. The moment they ask for you to send gift cards or send money, it's not legitimate.
We don't ask for money.
We're not going to ask for money, right? Yeah. That's, that's not how it works. You can't make a warrant go away with money. So.
No, not at all. I mean, you can try at the magistrate's office, but he's going to take your money, your property, and something else just to get you out of jail. So we've got about 30 seconds, and you said you're going to talk more about that when we come back.
Yeah.
So we'll talk specifically about that. Again, friends, neighbors, countrymen, find some folks, and we'll get you some good tips, information to talk about after that. And maybe during the break, we'll talk about Harrison's and what kind of good workwear they've got down there.
Oh, yeah, good stuff.
Yep. right, welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. I guess I could say this is the Harrison studio, since they are been the fine sponsors of the show now, and we appreciate them. They're all of our uniform needs as well. So I just picked up a pair of boots down there of my own to use, as well as the uniform shirts, the embroidery they're able to do for us. So we really appreciate their professionalism and getting the work back in time. So a lot of folks that we have to uniform and outfit. So speaking of the outfit that you're part of, Special Victims Unit, during the break we talked about some other scams, some of those other economic crime, the frauds and those type things. And I know a few of them you were saying you really wanted to talk about. The telephone calls, obviously, we mentioned there at the end. But what are some other things? How are some of these other people getting scammed?
Yeah, sure. Along with the law enforcement scam, like I said, the moment they ask for you to send money, whether it's gift cards, whether it's putting money in a crypto ATM, that should be the red flag that it's a scammer. We're not going to ask you for money. Another is we've had a lot of issues with rental scams lately. And what this looks like is somebody will go on Facebook Marketplace or even sometimes Zillow or another website, and they think that they're renting an apartment or renting a house. And what the scammer's done is they've taken a legitimate rental and, basically copied and pasted, put their own phone number on it. And then you're renting a piece of property that you've never seen in real life. Right. So you send whatever, $1,000 to this scammer thinking that it's your down payment on your new rental property. Right. And lo and behold, when you show up, you haven't actually rented the property.
So how do you know? I mean, what do you, because the new neighborhood went in next door to me, and I know of 3 to 5 of the residents in there. They bought their house sight unseen.
Sure.
I mean, they moved here from another state, and there's their house. First time to seeing it.
Yep.
So how would someone do that?
Well, I'm not going to say don't use Facebook Marketplace, but be very careful. Okay. If you go through a legitimate company, and you've contacted someone with a legitimate company, you should be fine. But a lot of this stuff is popping up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Just really, really careful sending money to people you've never met in real life. I would recommend, if you have the chance, go put eyes on the property before you rent it. Make sure that you're actually talking to the owner of the property before you send them any money.
Well, one of the things, and I'm no investigator by no part, but I look for a good deal. I've been on Facebook Marketplace plenty of times and looking for fishing stuff, hunting stuff, whatever it may be, boats. My next greatest find is I want a camper. I've got a big camper now, but I want one I can drive. That way the vacation starts when you turn the switch, not when you back it in and unhook it, right? So that's my dream. But you'll see a picture of one for a ridiculously low price, and then that picture turns up on a couple different ones in a couple different places, but it's the same photo.
Yeah.
So you can do like a reverse Google search, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right.
You usually trace it back to the original ad.
Right.
But yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They're just putting their own information on somebody else's ad and taking the money.
Right.
So yeah.
And when somebody like me sees this deal that's too good to be true, I'm ready to jump on it. Yeah. So they're catching all these deposits from places left and right on gift cards, Apple Pay, whatever, that type of stuff, going and getting the refillable credit cards and scratching off the numbers and giving them over the phone. Yeah. And that's the way they trap those folks. I remember, I think it was your lieutenant, Daniel Eichert. We've done a few of these, and it's something about, he says, if it's too good to be true, it's not true.
Yeah. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah.
And anytime you're dealing with the cash and that type stuff, when you're dealing with money, you've got to be careful of who you're. It's good to see that person.
Oh, absolutely.
Hand that to them. I believe you even mentioned about some of these places where you can meet up, like obviously the rental property, if you went to there and you found out wasn't that. But what if you were purchasing an item? So
so it's the same. It's the same deal. Just so many of the transactions are happening online, whether it's over PayPal or Cash App or what have you. And there's really, unless you're meeting somebody in person, which I know that in and of itself can hold its own danger, right? Yep. A lot of people aren't comfortable with that, but it's just really easy to send money to people you don't know over the internet, and they're not actually be a product for you to buy. So it's really tricky.
Right. And that goes to, I mentioned the puppy dog scam earlier, that those things that kind of, pull at your heartstrings. Oh, look at the little dog. I've always wanted this, toy miniature schnauzer, labradoodle, poodle, whatever.
One of those.
One of those weird varieties, and here's a mini. So this is the one I want, and and you fall into the trap where, all right, you've got the dog reserved, so you think.
Right.
Next thing is, well, the dog needs shots.
Oh yeah.
They're going to have to be boarded a little bit longer, and this care is going to cost this much.
Always one more extra cost.
Exactly
and
right.
Then another one, and
yes,
then another one.
Yes, and then you're this deep and this deep and this deep. And I know unfortunately we've got some folks that's been scammed, not the puppy dog, but with other types, things like that. And
Sure.
and I know you guys have had opportunities to even meet with the victims, and this is a law enforcement professional telling them, stop, don't.
Right.
They go home, and what do?
Yeah, same thing.
They do it again.
It's difficult sometimes. A lot of people that they want to trust people, and they want to think that it's not going to happen to them and everything. Right. But it's just, in this modern age of doing everything online, we just have to be really careful.
Right. And that's is there? I don't think there's anything out there that can get your money back, like PayPal. I know some of your credit cards or debit cards. It's just like if you made if you didn't make a credit card purchase,
Sure.
and your identity theft.
Yeah.
Then you could flag your credit if you do that. So what would be the best way to pay for something because there's legitimate things to buy online.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, if you can meet with somebody in person,
right,
that's always best. If not, one trick is to use your credit card for purchases online. That way, if it does turn out to be a scam, you can report it, and hopefully the credit card company will make it right. But that's not money coming out of your banking account, so you're not actually losing any money. The credit card company now has to go out and get that money back. So that's just one thing you can do.
And there's other ways in which you can kind of protect yourself, I guess, or limit the funds that are available. I won't say it's like an allowance, but you can get those pay-as-you-go credit cards. And this is my, I've got $500 on here for my online purchases, or I put the money on it. So that way, if this number is taken by the bad guys, it's going to go to zero. There's nothing else in it.
And that's a good way to look at it. But that's another reason why it's so important not to give any personal information to anybody over the phone or online or through an email. If anybody ever asks you for your social, your bank account number, any of those sensitive numbers, absolutely do not do it over the phone or through an email, because now they have access to everything you have.
Yeah.
And by the time you figure out what happened, they could have cleaned out your life savings.
It's that quick. God, there's that made me think of that movie. Have you seen the Jason Statham Beekeeper movie?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's wild. Where he's got a little old lady that was a beekeeper that took care of him, and she was a keeper of a nonprofit or something, and it was one of those phone calls.
Oh, really?
And they had a computer virus, and it's click here and talk to a person.
Oh, yeah.
And they're walking you through on your computer on how to, install the new virusware, install the new software, and it's Microsoft or it's Word or it's Apple. It looks legitimate because they've done their time. They've done their homework and able to do that. So definitely, what is the word? Trust but verify.
Yep, absolutely.
Always trust but verify. Yep. And best if you can in person.
I have to know, does Jason Statham actually get to go, attack the
he
scammers?
burnt the place down.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm talking about.
I'm gonna have to go see that one.
With gas cans, poured it on the computers and lit it up.
Right, sure. Yes. Which we're not advocating anybody do, but I would like to watch it. So,
yeah. It was a big old building, and built off of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So,
oh man, yeah.
But yeah, and those I think I watched a lady, one of those specials. I can't think of the blonde lady now, but does like the Nigerian scam. So there's phone list over there that they buy with 1,000 names on it.
Yeah.
And it's 1,000 telephone numbers, and they are dialing numbers and
it's just phishing.
Right. Phishing. Yeah. And that's sometimes that's not the grandparent scam. What is that? That's like the lover type thing.
Sometimes it's a romance scam.
Right.
It could even be the law enforcement scam or the grandkid scam. You never know. what they like to do is they like to get people in an emotional frame of mind, because we know from interviewing suspects that once someone's in an emotional frame of mind, they may not make the best intelligent decisions.
Yes.
So that's what happens with these scammers. They want to get you afraid, or they want to get you thinking about somebody you love, or they want some kind of emotion to make you just turn that part of your brain off that says this is a bad idea.
Right.
And that's when people start giving over their money.
Right.
You know, you call my grandpa and say, your grandson's in danger. Now, my grandpa's a smart guy and he's good with money. But the moment you say grandson, it's how much money do you need? You know, it's like a switch. So
they're in an accident, they're in the hospital, they're in jail, they're wherever they are, and you're you're trying to. I can help them. I'm here now. I'm your grandson's attorney. But I need this to move forward, or I need this to get them out of jail, or I need whatever. They can't talk to you now. And they're pretty good at doing, I know that phishing, get a name from a grandson, or go on Facebook. People paste their lives on there.
Oh, yeah.
So go on Facebook, look at some photos. They can see pictures of their grandkids, names, and go back and kind of filter down that way and find out a lot of information, a lot of personal information. But you're right, giving out those key identifiers, those account numbers, Social Security numbers, that type of stuff. And if you find yourself in a position like that, don't be afraid to be a victim, don't be afraid to say you're a victim, because there's certain protections out there for victims to keep it from happening again.
Yeah, absolutely.
The credit reporting agencies and the fraud alerts. So I think we're down to a few seconds left. I know when we come back, we're going to talk about some squatters' rights and some other things I hope to talk about. So, guys, stay tuned, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes. that weird music, Inspector Clouseau.
I was going to say Matlock, but I think I'm a little off.
Yeah, well, it's compliments of Chief Hamby. It's the old timey detective stuff. Sherlock Holmes. Maybe that's it. Well, thank you. Welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. We are live in studio here. Thanks Harrison's for their support. Thanks to the folks at Purple Heart Homes for this facility. Thanks for Joe for running the switchboard here, and whoever's down in Davidson, Cornelius doing it down there. So we appreciate it. And especially thanks to you, Justin, for being here. We've been talking about some fraud, scam stuff. We tend to do more talking during the break than we do on the air, and it's trying to make our notes to get that out there. So again, I'm looking on Facebook. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to send us, and we'll try to get that answered for you. But some stuff has come up. You see it on the news, other states and other places where these people move into a home and they're like, hey, I'm living in this vacant home and you can't make me leave.
Squatters' rights.
Squatters' rights. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about that, because that's not here, right? That's not.
So, as I understand it, North Carolina does not have any sort of squatters' rights laws. There's no magical period of time that says, oh, I've been here for 30 days or I've been here for 60 days. I magically have a right to this property. Basically, if you don't own the home, if you're not on the lease of an apartment, if your name's not on the utilities, you have no legal right to that facility. So a lot of times what we see is somebody will invite another person to stay with them for what they think is going to be a temporary amount of time, and then that person doesn't leave. And there's some ideas that and I know some other states, I know New York has these crazy squatters' rights laws, but North Carolina doesn't have anything like that in place. So basically, if I invite you to come stay with me, and I decide that I don't want you to stay with me anymore, unless, like I said, unless you're on the lease or you're on the utilities or something, you have no legal right to the property. And I can tell you it's time to leave.
So my underwear's in the drawer, my toothbrush is in the bathroom.
I love the toothbrush thing. I don't know why that became a thing. Like my toothbrush is here, so you have to have me evicted. Like that's not a thing. So basically, if you run into that, actually my neighbors down the street ran into it a while back. I won't tell you who they are, but they trying to do a nice thing and invited somebody who was down on their luck to come stay with them. They thought it was going to be for a couple of weeks, and it turned out to be a couple of months. Right. And this person wouldn't leave. And then he basically said, well, have me evicted. Even if you go try to have that person evicted, you can't, because they don't rent that property, right? So basically what I told him is call the sheriff's office, give us a call. We'll be glad to come out and explain to him, you can either leave or you're trespassing and you can go to jail.
Right. So. And we have that with some of the, I guess, the vagrancies or something, the homeless. Okay. Some of the little tent cities where it can just be like a little tent camp. I know a facility, a faith-based facility that wanted to do good, wanted to help. Right. Well, the help goes much further, because it's kind of like, you feed the little stray cat. What does the cat do? It's there every day for the food. Sure. And I know this place had a problem, and I'm like, give them rides, give them funds, give them whatever they need. But when you give them that place to stay, they feel like they can stay. But it's your property. Correct. It's private property. So I told him, if you want them to leave, then call the police, but tell them they have to leave. And then you have to be willing to prosecute if they remain on the premises, second-degree trespassing. Yeah.
If you can be invited to leave, you can be invited. If you can be invited to stay, you can also be invited to leave. Yes.
I like that. You have an invitation to leave.
There you go. Yep.
That's good. All right. So some of the other things, I know that you had made a list. What else were we talking about?
One thing we've been seeing more of, and this one really bothers me, because people are falling for the same kind of scams that we've been talking about, whether it's a grandchild scam, or you have a warrant scam, or I'm the IRS scam, whatever the scam is. They're actually having people withdraw cash, and they're showing up to these people's houses and just collecting cash, or having them meet in let's say a shady parking lot at night and handing over, envelopes with large sums of money. Right. And I guess that one really bothers me, and it bothers us in the fraud unit, because you're really inviting yourself into a dangerous situation there. Right. You actually have a stranger who's stealing money from you showing up to your home. Right. And that gets really dangerous, especially if you live by yourself, or, there's nothing to say that person might decide to do you physical harm.
Exactly.
if they think they can get some money off of you, they may want to try to get more.
Yeah.
So please, if you have any sort of situation where somebody is coming to collect money from you, where it's a scam, please call us.
Right.
We would love to catch these people. Because it's pretty bold to show up to somebody's house in broad daylight and take $30,000 off of them.
Right. And I mean, and I think you were saying during the break, I mean, sometimes they're the older folks, they don't have the credit cards, they don't have the means to go out and get they
don't have Cash App or Venmo.
They don't have. There's no way to do it, so they have cash.
Yeah, so the scammer eventually gets around to saying, "How about cash?" And they say, "Sure." You know, how much cash do you want?
Exactly.
And,
so they've got a shoebox there with the $30,000 in it. They're handing over. Well, I mean, who's going to say there's not another 30,000 or more?
Right.
And they can be there. So yeah, that's obviously don't fall for the scam, but and we've told people over and over about the gift cards, but now this is cash at your home.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a message we need to send around.
Yes.
And all these things too. We talk about the elderly being victims, but it's not so much them. I guess it could be the lonely.
Well, that's especially with the romance scams, you get a lot of that.
Right.
But I mean, it really is people from all walks of life.
Right.
We get reports every day from people of all ages, all backgrounds that get scammed. It can happen to anybody.
So a good thing to do is to check on your neighbors, check on your family, check on your loved ones. Talk about, hey, you made any big purchases lately? You met anybody online? You don't want to be that nosy neighbor or nosy family, but when it comes to that type stuff,
if you have a loved one that's living by themselves, maybe they're widowed, and they mention that they're talking to somebody online, maybe ask a couple questions. There's nothing wrong with talking to somebody online. But a lot of times from what we see, that's how it starts. They think it's a romance, and next thing you know, it's, I want to come be with you. I love you. I just need some money. And then it turns into grandma or grandpa giving away their life savings.
And that's the thing. They know they're in another country.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
And they know that they're trying to. Their story is, hey, I got to get away from this country. Or I got to get away from this. I've got to, I'm being human trafficked. I've got to buy my freedom. Whatever the story they do, and someone feels sorry enough to send them money.
Sometimes that is the scam. Sometimes it's, I want to come be with you in America, so I need money to do that so we can start our life together.
Right.
And then people just end up losing their shirts on these kind of
we're talking
long-term
about thousands and thousands, and
sometimes hundreds of thousands of
thousands.
dollars.
Especially retirement savings and other accounts and other things that are there. I just can't imagine someone. Again, I know you guys see the victims a lot, but when you find the suspects, you just want to ask them, how do you live with yourself? How can you do this?
We've actually, over in our fraud unit, we've gotten a couple of them on the phone. They'll call us just like they call anybody else.
Right.
And, you tell them, I'm so-and-so with the economic crimes unit.
Yeah.
And either they'll hang up or they might just keep trying. But at one point, you got nothing to lose. We'll even ask them, why do you do this? Why do you wake up every morning and do this for a living? And they say basically what they've told us. People in other countries just say it's easy. Americans have more money and they're just easy to scam. And like they can call 100 people a day, and if only 10 people send them money, that's free money.
Oh yeah,
it's they don't have a conscience.
So our viewers would say, well, on TV, they just trace their phone number or trace their IP address.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes right back. There's a line on a map that falls right down to this address.
Yeah.
And that's where the scammer's sitting there on the phone, and you can just go get them.
I wish it worked like that. Be easy. Unfortunately, a lot of people, in fact, I would say at this point, most of our scammers, especially the ones overseas, are using a VPN or some kind of device to either scramble their IP address or disguise it and make it look like somebody else's IP address. The same way that they're using apps to make their phone numbers look like sheriff's office phone number or anybody else's phone number. So tracing down IP addresses really isn't as simple as it is on TV. I wish we could just get on there and, enhance. Oh, there they are. But
Oh, I know. I mean, we've worked in law enforcement and we've run tags and been able to find information. Shoot, they can find out where that person's at just by putting in a tag number. They work at this place. It's a red car. It's been involved in this accident, and you can find it over here by looking at all the street cameras.
somehow they also
along.
They also get satellite footage that can
live footage.
See
Exactly.
the year on a penny on the street. But I wish we had that sort of
Yeah,
technology.
I can't imagine trying to follow the cameras. When I worked at the school system, looking at the cameras in the hallways, trying to follow a student, couldn't follow a car. All right, we're going to be back in a few minutes, and we're going to finish up with some of the local things going on. So stay tuned to Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. All right, welcome back, folks, to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Our last segment is here. It's 'cause the time has really flown by, hasn't it? So I've got a few things over here on my desk that they're going to talk about, and that's just to deal with what's going on, what's happened today, what's happening tomorrow, this weekend, just letting you guys know where we're at and what you're doing. But you're over there in the hot seat, and you've got one of our actual fraud cases. That's a press release that just released. So tell us about the case you got there,
All
Detective.
right. This was a case that was actually assigned to Detective Henderson.
Okay.
And she is in the Property Crimes Division.
Yep.
This looks like it started off as a vehicle theft or vehicle break-in and then turned into identity theft.
Okay.
So basically, it says that on Wednesday, March the 19th, 2025, the Iredell County Sheriff's Office received a report from a local business owner regarding the theft of several $1,000s worth of tools from a work vehicle. So there you get the break-in. Occurred on Shinville Road in southeastern Iredell County. The victim also reported that business credit cards left inside the vehicle had been stolen and used at multiple locations. So that's when it gets into identity theft. Or at least obtaining property by false pretense,
Right.
because you're claiming to be somebody else when you have their card.
Yep.
The case was assigned to Detective T. Henderson. Through the course of the investigation, Detective Henderson did a great job, identified the suspect as 60-year-old James Lanier Smith Jr., an employee of the victim. It was determined that Smith was the only individual with access to the vehicle at that time, and additional evidence was gathered by Detective Henderson, which confirmed that Smith was responsible for all the fraudulent uses of the company credit cards. So as a result, arrest warrants were issued for James Lanier Smith Jr. for felony larceny, 5 counts of felony identity theft, 6 counts of felony obtaining property by false pretense. And Smith was located and arrested on Friday, March the 21st. He received a $75,000 bond.
Wow, nice.
At the magistrate's office.
You must have a nice criminal record there. What kind of
Very
similar
well made.
crimes?
Criminal history: felony larceny in the states of Florida and multiple traffic violations in the state of North Carolina.
So that was basically larceny by employee, but it was also embezzlement is when you take cash, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It can be cash. Basically, with embezzlement, it has to be somebody within the company that's trusted with company funds.
Okay.
This doesn't sound like.
So he stole the credit cards. When
Mr. Smith was trusted.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
not
sound like
like
Mr.
he
Smith
has
was
a
trusted
company
with any
credit card.
funds.
Yep,
He
okay.
just stole
Okay,
what didn't
all right.
belong to him. Yeah.
So lock your vehicles up.
Absolutely, please.
Light it up, or don't leave it in the car.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
Yes, exactly. Locking your cars can go so far about that, but obviously this is someone who knew what tools were there, and those tools can get expensive, and knew the credit cards were there, and it's just so quickly and simply to swipe those. I know we were talking earlier, and I mentioned about the pay-as-you-go card, but debit versus credit. Even though you've got the little Visa symbol on your debit card, they give you that extra protection when you use it as a credit card, right?
Yes.
But if you have, and we're not by no means condoning credit cards, but if you have a credit card with a limit, that's not touching your bank account.
Correct.
This debit card directly zaps funds out of your account. And
That's
then many people have a backup to this account, which is a savings account in your bank. So putting this out there is dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, going to Walmart's one thing, but going online to Facebook Marketplace, again, it's a good idea to have an Amazon card, whatever. There I go.
Something that's not attached to your bank account.
Yes, exactly. So this weekend, guys, well, actually, last night, so the Citizens Academy, I don't believe you've been out yet. We had a fraud night, the very first night.
Yeah, not this year, I haven't.
Yeah, so we had a fraud night with a lot of questions, a lot of discussion. It was really good. But we've got a large Citizen Academy that's been going on. We've got 26 or so people that's been regularly showing up, and 7 of those, I think, are repeats.
Nice.
But they seem to learn more every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you get to 8 or 9, I think I'm going to let them start teaching the class. I tell them basically I'm a facilitator, but if they've been there 7, 8 times, they know how it goes. But we had a narcotics night last night, and we had the mobile classroom set up, and we're in the process of revamping that, adding some more stuff to it. You're going to see it out at Ray City Festival in Mooresville in another month or two. And if you've got anything going on now, I'm talking to you, but if you've got anything going on now in your communities, Spring Fest, those type of things going on, you can have the mobile classroom come out. You can have us come out. I know that there's touch-a-trucks, and we've had a few of the patrol vehicles out there with the guys and gals and showing those off. And that's kind of my deal. I get to, just like I assign you guys or talk to you guys about the fraud presentations, I get to tap those folks that's, hey, you want to go to this preschool or you want to go to this fair, this festival this weekend. But we do have a few more nights. We're going to go to Detention Center. We're going to go to see the Lake Patrol down at the Lake Norman, and that's always a great thing. I was out on the lake the other day. So, do you do any boating, fishing, anything?
I do some fishing. I don't do any boating, unfortunately, but I've heard the new boat is very nice.
Yes,
Sheriff's Office
yes,
new boat.
it is amazing. Absolutely. So, the newest boat boat is a stand-up cabin. I guess you call it, it's not a cabin if it's open air, but it was one of those purchases that we're able to get through the state legislature. Sheriff Campbell being part of the sheriff's administration, where he's been able to make these contacts with the community, with the government. He's been able to really help out Iredell County. The other boat that people know, the SS Campbell, with the large enclosed cabin, which they've been out there patrolling with diesel generators and heat and stuff out there. That was, I think, $400,000 of drug dealers' money.
Excellent.
So we love spending that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of spending drug dealers' money, you're welcome to come out and spend some of your money and watch some good volleyball on Saturdays. We've got the Youth Volleyball League going on, and just a lot of fun stuff. I found out more about volleyball in the last 2 years being able to participate in this, and I found that you know the old saying of soccer moms? Okay, there's volleyball moms.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I think there's volleyball dads and papaws and mamaws and all of them. So they come out, and it's great to see the family supporting these kids. We've got this free youth league that's out there. And when I say spend your money, we do have food trucks because I'm a fat boy, so I like to eat. You know, put me sitting there watching volleyball all day long without any food, I get hangry.
Gotta have some snacks.
Yes. Yeah. So the snack of the week this week will be the Waffle Chick.
Ooh.
Yes, the Waffle Chick truck will be there.
Good stuff.
As well as Land Cruiser Coffee, and those guys are pretty low to us. Land Cruiser Coffee's out there. They gave me some kind of milky stuff one time, and I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, but teas, I think it's a chai milk. I don't know. It's I did have my first bobo tea out there one of these days. They're little jelly bubbles.
Yeah, I'm a little sketched out by that.
It's a nice big straw, though.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Sounds too much like tapioca pudding to me.
Yeah, that's it. So if I have to chew my drink, that could be a problem.
Well, thank you.
So if you guys want to come out and support those folks that are doing that, that would be great. We've got. I think there's 6 more weeks left. I know our final game is on May 17th, but the way it runs, we start at 8 in the morning and we're done at 4 in the afternoon. Games are on the hour every hour, and I say that lightly because some of these games, it's like 2 matches you win or 2 sets you win. If you tie, then you go to the 3rd set, and that's a long one.
Oh, yeah.
And these girls and guys are great. I say girls loosely because there's several dozen guys on the teams as well. It's a co-ed league. But they're out there spiking and hitting and smacking, and balls are going everywhere, and I'm just trying to stay out of the way.
Yep.
So, real fun. This, again, like I said, being able to support those folks with funds that we've been able to seize, the sheriff's got off the interstate and in other situations, it's been nice to be able to do that.
Good stuff.
Last things I bought the other day were electronic whistles. You ever seen one of them?
No, huh?
I got to come over to SVU and blow it a little bit. It's loud. Yeah, we were scaring some people in the hallway with it. So
come on over, try it out.
I don't know. Some of you guys over there, some of you other detectives are a little scary what you might be into. But guys, I hope you follow us on Facebook and you look and see what we put up. I know that just past weekend, Sheriff Campbell had a visit from a few scouts to come by. We always love to see the scouts groups. I know that we've went out and done some talks, drug talks and safety talks to the scout groups, but he brought some of that popcorn by, and you didn't get to smell it, but when I left the office a while ago, I smelt it.
Oh, man.
It's intoxicating. It's like being at a movie theater. So we thank the Boy Scout Troop 337 for dropping off the goodies. And I'm there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and I like goodies as well. So come see me anytime. This was just the other day, Deputy Vaughn. I like how we had to shorten his name because you've seen his name, right? It's Von Lechtenman. Yeah. It's one of those words you sound out.
Yeah.
So Deputy Von Lechtenman, he's one of our drone operators. And being on patrol down in the Mooresville area, operating drones is just like having a K9. I say that not in the way that people would say. It's practice. You have to train with it.
Absolutely.
So just as you train with your dog every day, you train with your drone every day. And so he had it out in a park. He was able to show some kids just how it operated and how it looked, and that was really, really fun to do. Did you happen to go by the stadium, the Statesville High School stadium yesterday or today?
I did not.
So Special Olympics just finished up. So if you look on our Facebook today, you'll see our CERT team as well as Chase Little's patrol squad. He's got a long-standing tradition that his squad has run the Special Olympics to take the torch and officially start the Olympics. So
that's awesome.
So we thank the folks that came out and did that because it was rainy today. I didn't go by there. Yeah, it was. Dara was there. I could tell by her wet hair. So,
there you go.
But folks, we appreciate you tuning in today. We appreciate you supporting WSIC. We really do appreciate you supporting Harrison's. Some fine folks down there. Go see those guys and gals. Get you some workwear, Western wear, some tactical gear. I saw a gun case and a backpack that I like.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Everybody needs some of those things. So, and guys, we'll see you next week on The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.